Hello and welcome to round 3 of VPRL, proudly brought to you by VPRL.com. My name is Sunny and thank you for tuning in wherever you're joining us from. We hope you're having a great night and we hope we can make it a little bit better as we kick off round 3 from Townsville at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. And joining me in the box for tonight's coverage, my good mate Tyrone Clay. And Tyrone, welcome back to the box, welcome back to the arena. What are you looking forward to between these two sides, the Marlins and the Wedgetails?
Thanks, Sonny. Firstly, it feels good to be back. I feel like I'm at home again. Been away for a while, but it's good to get back into the action. What a great game we got here, Marlins. I think they're looking for their first win of the season, if I'm not mistaken. The Wedgetails, very physical side, obviously, beat my team. It's going to be a very interesting matchup this time.
Yeah, and it's good to be back in the box with you, Tyrone. I don't think we've come to games since Internationals of Season 9 in that other league, that league that shall not be named. But I'll tell you what, we've got some great footy ahead of us here tonight as Matty Harris is about to get us off on the way. The kickoff is... oh, jeez. We are back, everyone, and we hope you've had a good weekend as well as Mark Henry takes the first hit up of the game. And yeah, you're right, Tyrone, the Marlins looking for their first win of the season. And a loss here tonight, you might as well, say that one foot could be out the door for the finals picture. They want to avoid the 0-3 start at all costs. And the Wedgetails coming off the back of a rivalry loss to the Bulls last week in Parramatta. And it just, puts the stakes even more higher now as we see a shift out left to Shea Hardy. And that one, a bit of a settler set there for the Northern Marlins. Just over 30 minutes gained. And 30 meters gained. Oh, geez. I can't lie, we might have hit the Caxton. It's Magic Round this weekend in real life, as we see on the Cobbo with the return. And Tyrone, any standouts to keep an eye out for tonight?
Oh, I'll name one for each team, I reckon. For the Wedgetails, it has to be the second row of Chapman Kenny. We know how good he can be. He can run through any defence in the league. He'll be hard to stop. Woohoo!
What a big hit there. The hit stick laid, and the Marlins will turn possession over inside their own half now, or inside the Wedgetails half, as we see Cruz Spencer out on the right wing towards the right edge, playing there at the 3 jersey. We'll shift it back in the middle, and yeah, last week it was a bit of a hard lesson for the Northern Marlins. 28-6 loss at home, and it was their first home game of the season as well, so the Townsville faithful have straight up once again in good number. Hopefully they'll be able to see the first W on the season for their Marlins. What a play, offload away to Shea Hardy, and fifth and last now. Inside the 10 they'll go. What can they do with it here? They'll try and cook something up. Lucas Deuce with the grubber, and that's a good one there. That'll trap Jim Bourbon inside his own in goal, and that'll be a dropout for another step restart try.
Yeah, just a lot of pressure there from the Marlins. They get the hit and then they get the repeat set. Great kick there from Lucas Deuce, but I thought Jim Bourbon did well to cover it up. But now we get to see the Marlins yet again with another set, another attacking set.
Yeah, and one thing to keep an eye out for is Mahana Olu at fullback for the Northern Marlins, and there he is. Speaking of the W, number 1 for tonight. And Jack Kyle shifting out to the right wing position in the 5 jumpers. Eddie Oliver takes a solid run through the middle. And creeping their way towards the red zone as they'll shift it left. Lockie Martin out to Jackson Keith. And Lachlan Martin shifting from second row to prop in the 8 jersey tonight. So he'll be looking to try and get amongst it. Big fend away, Lockie Martin. He nearly gets there but tripped up. Fifth and last now. The Marlins, they're bringing the pressure, they're bringing the pain, and they're going to inflict it on the scoreboard as Eddie Oliver crosses over for the first try of the game here at home.
Wow, and yet again it's Lucas Deuce. He's having a ripping start to this game. 2 successful rubbers into the in goal. First one didn't get the reward, but second one, Eddie Oliver's there to pounce on it, and they'll surely make this 6-0.
Yeah, Lucas Deuce, he's been one of the form halves to keep an eye out for in VPRL this season alongside Caleb J. So you got to keep an eye out for them because they can just make anything happen, and even those little grubbers, those nice dinks, they just turn that into pressure and pressure into points. So 33 minutes to go in the first half. 6-0 in favour of the home side as the travelling Wedgetails on the back of 2 consecutive road trips and their first interdivisional game as well. So we've got these sorts of, players on display. KCK, Matty Harris, Jim Bourbon as well. I mean, we've got some talent out there, Tyrone, and it's always good to see these names and these veteran players. Many of them have been playing for, as many as 5 years. So yeah, it's always good to see the big names out and about. Lockie Martin, of course.
Yeah, Lockie Martin, as you're saying, former commissioner of the league that shall not be mentioned, but he's been a very serviceable name, been around for a very long time, and as you said, some of these players, it's good to see them, even if they're getting on a little bit.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that is an NFL special, we call that one. But, the NFL game isn't coming to Melbourne until later on in the year in September, so he's probably auditioning for a practice squad spot there as we see pressure now inside the Marlins red zone. That's a beautiful run from dummy. Offload to KCK. Oh, and he pulls the trigger. That one just turns a golden opportunity into nothing, Tyrone. That was looking dangerous. And all of a sudden, the Marlins on the counter-attack.
Yeah, I didn't think you really need to throw that, to be honest. I think you could have just taken the tackle. It was only early on in the set, but I think the Wedgetails just playing with the ball a bit too much. Just need to make the game more simple and make it a little bit more one out, I reckon.
As they shift it right, Mahana Oli out to Ken Hellier. And the big unit gets stuck in there. Fifth and last coming up. 10 minutes gone in this first half as they drop it to Caleb J, and he'll just punt it downfield. Sends it towards the wing of on the Cobbo, and on the Cobbo, on the run. We'll try and get some post-contact moves going. So for the Wedgetails, 1-1 to start their season. They beat the Thunder, your Thunder, in round 1, Tyrone. And sorry to, rehash old wounds, but round 2, it was a clinical showing from Western Sydney last week. The Wedgetails were held without points, and Tyrone, what do you think the message was this week for Sydney to try and get back and try and get a win?
I think firstly they should focus on scoring points. I think that would be the number one key thing. But then,
in the wise words of the great Shane Flano,
you got to get out the other end to score points. But I think that's also one thing. And then another thing, they probably just need to work on completing their sets of 6, just keeping a hold of the ball for as long as they can. Struggled last week, and so far I'd have to say struggling a little bit here, and the Marlins are punishing them for it.
Yeah, and off the bench, Wedgetails captain Claire Burton will be playing him at the 15 jump for today, so they'll be looking to inject some life, throughout the midway point of each half as we see Lockie Martin another run, and he's been active early on in this first as they drop it in the pocket. Lucas Deuce, a shanker kick straight to Dino Farr, silly to allow him. And first tackle now, the Wedgetails, great starting position. All they have to do is try and pin in a good kick or a line break that could spark something. They want to try and get points, try and calm their nerves a bit as we see Aaron White, another veteran player, former Warrior, played a lot of years for the Wires back in that competition. How long are we going to keep this going for? I don't know. As we see fourth tackle coming up inside the red zone. Letu Funga out wide to Gabe Walsh, and Walsh is driven back. And that's another change I forgot to mention as well. Letu Funga shifting from wing to fullback for this game. Fifth and last now, Aaron White, and he'll just send a high one towards the middle of field. Ken Hellier takes it, driven back a few meters. But that's a great defuse there, Tyrone. And now the Marlins, a lot of work to do from deep in their own half, and Jackson Keith dealing with it.
Yeah, I thought that was a great set from the Wedgetails, actually. Getting the kick, getting the diffuser, and Ken Hellier just...
Oh, Eddie Oliver still going. Sorry to cut you off, Tyrone, but he's still going. No one can pin him down. Eddie Oliver pops the offload away. Big fun from Jackson Keith. Someone stop the Marlins rampage, and they'll finally get to the world's strongest simulated man in Mark Henry. A dart from dummy half from Wilson. Oh, and it's picked off. And that one was just so looking very dangerous, but maybe they got a bit trigger happy there, the home side. They had the momentum in their favour, the possession. But now the Wedgetails Gonna walk away off the hook from that one, and KCK will be hoping to inject himself a lot more this game. He was held relatively quiet last week. Maybe by design from that Bulls forward pack. The Tufuma taking a settler run. They might line up for a 40-20. They'll drop it to Harris into the back of his own teammate. Picked off from the big unit, Ken Hellier. And all of a sudden, mistakes plaguing both sides. And now this is a golden chance for the home side. Oh, and they throw it away literally once again. And Tyrone, some head scratcher plays from both sides.
There I thought Eddie Oliver was auditioning for the Rams practice squad, but he did a good job, but probably not what you want to do in this game. Is, yeah, both teams just not wanting the ball, really, just saying that you want it, but then they'll just give it back to each other. Don't know what's happening here. Just throwing the ball away.
Yeah, it's relatively dry today, and a big fin there, KCK. Nearly puts a soul under the ground, as we see. 4 tackles, still shy of the halfway though. And the boys from the West Harbour trying to get momentum going now. We're nearly halfway through the first. 5th and last as they'll drop it back. Marlins 0-2, looking for their first win on the season. Will they be able to handle this pressure and handle the odds that have come against them early on in this season? I mean, Tyrone, when you look at the finals picture, there's only 7 rounds in a season. And, you know, if you start 0-3, if the Marlins lose tonight, there's going to be a lot of people saying that's pretty much them done.
And I'd have to agree with you there, Sonny. I think 0-3, you definitely don't want to be there. And I think if you go 0-3, I think you'd have to probably win out, maybe hope for a result to go your way. Am I correct in saying the finals is top 4 or top 3? I'm not too sure. Top 3, yeah, so it makes it even more harder now to get into the finals. So you probably have to win 4 or even 5 games just to even get a look into finals. So
yeah, you definitely don't want to drop more than 4 at the very most. Oh, more than 3, I'd even say.
Yeah.
So I think both teams were well aware of just how crucial these results are. Not just that, it's the points differential that'll play a part also. I mean, in the event that we've got 2 teams tied on points, then it'll come down to the points differential that'll separate them as the tiebreaker. So these are the sorts of games, these are the sorts of stakes that really make it feel much more important. As 4 tackle rooms now in a short, drop back into the pocket by Aaron White. We'll scoop that one up. And that was a tricky little play there from the Wedgetails. Probably trying something now as we see them get the kick away. Jim Bourbon playing at the 13 jersey tonight. It's a decent kick there, but Howie on the return tries to do a juke. And that's great starting field position for the Northern Marlins now. And don't forget to tune in after this. It'll be your Monday night primetime game. 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. NZ. It will be the Central Thunder taking on the Western Bulls in Newcastle. The first home game for the Thunder. And don't forget to check out playvprl.com. Make sure you sign up. If you haven't already, Mahana Oluolu, he'll try and get something going. And there you go. Off the line break, straight into the red zone. And Wilson from dummy half. He'll just take a nice hit up. And all of a sudden, inside opposition 10, 5th and last. They're going to go left. Cut out ball, deuce, and too much on it. He certainly hasn't missed leg day, Tyrone.
Well, yeah, he's been putting in the effort during the preseason and the first 2 rounds, but just a little bit too much there. You just have to tone it down a little bit, although I think he did brilliant.
Oh, goodness. We might have to get the stretcher out and the Medicab. And all of a sudden, the Marlins now with possession and a full set of 6 up their sleeve, and that was a massive hit. Oh, geez, whoever caught that one is going to feel it in the morning and then some. Jackson Keith now. Yeah, get him some Panadols. Jackson Keith now takes a hit up. Second, they'll go left, inside dish. Gallagher nearly gets in the way, but he'll clean it up. 3rd tackle, they'll drop it to Deuce. Inside dish, Eddie Oliver. Oh, he's fumbled it. He's fumbled it. He had it on a platter in Tyrone. And he drops it.
Oh, and that was looking very dangerous, but I think it was the captain of the Wedgetails, Calais Burton, just getting to Eddie Oliver just in time. He forced the knock on, and Now the Wedgetails, they have to do something with this. They have to try and get out of their own end because currently the Marlins putting on all the pressure.
Yeah, I know that a beer definitely got spilt when that try was bombed, as we see. Or tackle the Wedgetails. They'll go for another shot, but Matty Harris will send it crossfield to the opposite side, and he'll catch Mahana Olu on his bike. But yeah, just over 14 minutes remaining in this first half, 6-0 in favour of the Marlins. And yeah, both sides just settling into a bit of a slugfest now. Just not much doing at the moment, although we've seen quite a bit of events, you could say. Oh, Eddie Oliver, he's getting active, and he'll pop an offload straight for the opposition. Not the way that he wanted that set to go, but I'll tell you what, Tyrone Eddie's been certainly getting stuck into it tonight, and we've seen him a few times play in the 13 jersey throughout the years, but he seems to wind the clock back tonight.
Yeah, he's probably had one of the best games of his career so far. Just every time he gets the ball, he looks so dangerous, and obviously scored the only try of the game and put on that big run just afterwards too. And it wouldn't surprise me if he went over again, to be honest. The way he's popping up, the way he's been playing, wouldn't surprise me at all.
As Aaron White, a nice punt towards the corner, and Jack Kyle, he'll have a chance to return it. He'll hit a 360, and he won't be able to make it past the line. But first tackle now. No fullback at home for Sydney, but Noel Gallagher just take a straight run as the subs both teams now on. Blakeson, Harrison, another Townsville local who was drafted in the rookie draft by the Marlins. So he's definitely a crowd favourite here. Fourth tackle now. The Marlins, they're going to try a 40-20 shot. Oh, straight into the back once again. And yeah, the kicking flu is certainly in full effect tonight. Both teams just struggling to, get the kick away, but Daniel Punch runs it straight into a brick wall. Also known as Noel Gallagher, I think it was, with the number 14. Just over 10 minutes to go, and Tyrone, this is a perfect opportunity for the Wedgetails to get across.
Never mind. We can't strikes again. Just for the Wedgetails, it's summed up their night so far, and currently looking at the scoreboard and the way they've played, they don't deserve anything, as the Marlins are playing really well, to be honest. Putting on shots left, right and centre.
Yeah, they've been putting on the big shots, and their attack has been really good as well. It's very fluid and off the cuff. They've been getting the offloads away. Jackson Keith, he looks worse for wear. He's hobbling now, so we're going to have to keep you updated on his condition. I think he's going to run this one off the field. So the Marlins would be wishing that the 16th man rule was in effect this round. 40-20 shot. Oh, that looked good, but Letu Funga, cool, calm and collected, driven over the sideline, and the home side gets stuck in him. And Tyrone has a great chance now for the Marlins to try and pick points.
Yeah, just great pressure from the Marlins. Can we count that as a consolidatory 40-20? We know we love stat panic. Can we count that as a 40-20? A moral 40-20? Even though it was from outside the 20.
Well, the Players Union would want that, but we don't want to pay the incentives, so no, we're not counting. So you see from Dudley, it's Wilson. He's been on fire all night, and it's an offload. Pops into Ollie Turner. And geez, the Marlins are certainly firing now. Feels like the tide is getting higher here in Townsville. As we'll take a look at the bunker replay just to make sure that he was turned on his back. So we'll get a quick breather in here. No try, but the Marlins, what a great chance it is for them to try and get more points on the board before halftime. Second tackle now. Gallagher out to Caleb J. Dishes it to Big Rocky Martin. He'll score the try straight through. And what a nice play there as they drew it up by line, just in and over the try line.
What a step play that was from the Marlins. You see in the background the Wedgetails player diving at nothing, sent to the shops. And great play there, just simple passing. Beats the Wedgetails, and you'd have to say the Marlins truly on top in this one, leading by more than one try.
And the conversion for Lucas Bruce, 2 from 2 now, and yeah, that was a set play to perfection, and off the back of an assist from Caleb J, I think it was. So Talk about that halves combo, and they very well just might be the best, one of the best halves combos in VPRL. But 12-0 is the score in favour of the Northern Marlins, and that'll put a smile on the face of their captain, Jack Kyle. He doesn't want to go 0-3, but this is the way you want to start, especially in front of a home crowd. And has turned up in great number, but the Wedgetails, they've got to try and knuckle down. You'd have to think Tyrone don't want to concede any more points heading into the half. As we see Lucas Deuce now shifting it out, and I've just got a message from Tyrone. He's actually texting me from the bathroom saying he's a little busy right now, so he'll be back in joining us very shortly, as we'll see Gallagher 4th tackle, and the Marlins not in any rush to get the ball out. Wilson will just take a run from dummy, and Settler there, 5th and last now, and he's back. Yeah, I got your text in the bathroom, Tyrone, so it's all good. I got it for you. See now, a big punt away to on the Cobbo, on the return. It's a cheeky step, and now the Wedgetails, Tyrone, they'd love to score some points before halftime.
They'd love to. They also need to be honest. I think if they're going to try and get back in this game, they have to score next, and it probably has to be before half-time, otherwise probably nearly sing their praises.
Good offload from Dewey Borden. Another try scorers for the Wedgetails this season, 1 of 2 only. So they'll be looking to try and get a lot more points on the board tonight. Gabe Walsh playing out wing, shifting from centre for this game. And that's a good run there to set them up inside the 20 of the opposition. Dino Farsili to allow him. He'll get the offload. Big palm away for the captain. And the skipper will go over for the first points of the Wedgetails night. And his first try of the season, Tyler. How good.
They needed that one, and it was only going to be the captain. Coming off the bench for impact, he certainly made an impact all right. And they sure needed that, the Wedgetails. They're looking in trouble.
Yeah, and that one will just put a bit of a spring in their step as they head towards the halftime break. And you know, moments like that, they just inject some life into it, especially when you're watching as a fan and supporting one of these teams. But 12-6 is now the score. Matty Harris will convert, and with just 4 minutes left in his first half, 18 points in it so far. And both teams really want the win tonight. The Wedgetails, they've been looking a bit shaky, but they've certainly made their chance count now. And could this be the one that gets them going, Tyrone? Could this be the one that really turns this one around for Sydney?
Be so sure just yet. I'll probably need to see how they come out the second half first, or even if they do something at the end of this first half. But it looks promising for the Wedgetails, but I wouldn't say anything just yet.
As Letufunga hits a step through the middle, he goes, and Mahana Olu forced to come up as the last line of defense, and now he's out of position. If they get a line break, this could be dangerous, but Bourbon just takes the hit up. Brought down by 2 defenders now. 3rd tackle, Daniel Punch from dummy. He'll just do enough to get them on the other side of the field. Time ticking down now, so they'll probably just be looking to wind the clock. As we see Kane Chapman-Kenny, solo run, 5th and last, 2 minutes left in the first. If you're tuning in, it is the home side, the Marlins, leading 12-6 on the brink of halftime, as their captain, Jack Hall, will just take a settler run there on the return. They'll shift it left. Lucas Deuce, he can do it all. He can play on the wing. He can get the try assist. 2nd tackle, the Northern Marlins. Could they have one more in the bag? Another trick to show us as we see 3rd tackle. 2 left in the set. They'll go short ball to Lucas Deuce once again. As time ticks over. Final minute remaining in this first. Mahana Olu wrapped up in red well. Good defense, and 5th and last now. One more kick return. Could it be possible? Could they go to the house, the Wedgetails? Let's see what they do with it. Caleb J towards the wing. On the Cobbo, they've been targeting him all night. Off the left edge, he didn't cut back in field, and that one could have been the one there. Fullback out of position. They're slow to play the ball. Michael Leasi offload away, and it's a forward. But that one could have been something, but we're just going to kick it over now. Half-time break looming. It is 12-6 in favour of the Marlins. We'll see you in the second. Welcome back to the second half of your round 3 action. From Townsville, it is the Northern Marlins leading 12-6 over the Sydney Wedgetails. And Lucas Deuce is about to get us back underway. For Tyrone, we'll start with the Marlins. They put up quite a showing early in that first half. The first 2 tries scored, but it was the Wedgetails through Claire Burton late before the halftime break that saw them get their first points on the board as well. So what were your thoughts on that first half, and what do you expect to see in the second? Any standouts as well?
Yeah, I thought Marlins controlled that first half really well up until probably the last 5-10 minutes, where the Wedgetails captain, Claire Burton, just asserted himself firstly with the try saver on Eddie Oliver, and then scoring himself down the other end. I think he's the reason why they're still in the game. And for me, I think you have to watch out for the Marlins halves. I think they're going to be pivotal. I think they're going to play a big part in them winning this game.
Yeah, and both with a try assist each in Lucas Deuce and Caleb J. So they've been shifting the ball and doing their jobs well, but that mistake off the kick from Matty Harris has now put pressure on the Wedgetails early on. So they're attacking now the Marlins inside the Wedgetails half. They'll shift it to the world's strongest simulated man, Mark Henry. He'll dish it to Caleb J. And J will just take a subtle run there, straight at Ether, I believe it is. So we see Eddie Oliver now, one of the workhorses in tonight's game, on the try-scoring list as well. A few errors, so he's been popping those offloads a lot, but we'll probably be looking to tone it down. That's a good kick. Oh, that is just target perfect there. And Aaron White forced into touch. This is going to be a big set coming up for the man.
Yeah, what a play that was from Shea Hardy, I believe. Out the centres. Great play, just great awareness. Seen that the Wedgetails attacker was facing the other way and just took advantage of it.
Oh, big Mark Henry gets the big fend away. Sorry to cut you off, Tyrone, but you got to watch out for big Mark Henry. He'll put the slam down, and Eddie Oliver will put the points on the board. And that's a double now for the 13. A place to his name, and he's having a night, Eddie Oliver. What a way to start off the second half.
Yeah, I said in the first half after he scored, watch out, he might score again. And sure enough, he gets himself back on the scoreboard. He's having a career night. Double, doing everything he wants except for 3 hours. But I think he can get away with that after scoring 2 tries.
Yeah, and Deuce slots it once again. 18-6 to the Marlins. And you're right about Eddie, because he's got a brace to his name now, but he actually could have had a hat-trick if he didn't bomb that earlier try in the first half. So he'll be spewing a bit at that one. That would have been some extra, MVP points to his name. But game's far from over. We've still got nearly a full half to play in this round 3 game. And don't forget, tomorrow it'll be the New Zealand Renegades back at home in Christchurch, going up against the Brisbane Pirates, the undefeated 2-0 Pirates. 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. NZ tomorrow night. So don't miss that one. It's going to be a cracker, as we see Caleb J now dish back into Blakeson Harrison. The Marlins with possession and with momentum in their favour. This is going to do a lot for their confidence. Jack Kyle wanting to get his first W on the board for this season as a captain. His club looking for the same fate as we see Lucas Deuce crossfield 40-20. This is Lucas Deuce at his best. Oh, but it doesn't have the bounce. It'll sit awkwardly for Letu Funga. And that one could have been dangerous, Tyrone. That's Lucas Deuce just producing what he's done over the years. Nice and, just a tester kick there for the opposition.
Yeah, I thought the Wedgetails were going to botch it. I thought they were going to run into each other, drop the ball, but calm, cool and collected there from the centre.
Oh! And Michael Leasi gets fussy on that one. Shout out to my also, and that's a 40-20 attempt. Matty Harris looking for the sideline. Hits up for Jack Kyle to hit the return button. Return to sender. And that one was looking dangerous. Michael Leasi, he shifted out the fullback. Oh, Kevin Howard gets absolutely smacked in his grill. He nearly got his headgear popped off, and now this one's turning a bit violent. And the Townsville crowd, they're certainly getting stuck into a third tackle. They go left. Eddie Oliver will take a hit up there for a tackle. Will they try it? Yes, they will. Crossfield, Lucas Deuce. It's not got the angle, so it's just going to be a territory kick. The RC on the return. Wrapped up red wide by Flaxton Harrison, the big unit, and the Wedgetails. They're going to try and look for some magic to hopefully appear. Who can be the one to bring it? We talk about the same sort of names, but Letu Funga, he's shifted out now towards the right centre and alongside on the cobber, I think it is. So could they try and work some magic along the wings? Matty Harris, a short dish to KCK. Fourth tackle. I think they're just out of 40-20 range. They're going to go short side, out to Ether. He'll take a settler. And half an hour to go. And Tyrone, you probably think the Wedgetails need to be the next team to score here.
They have to be the next team to score here, to be honest. They need something to go their way, whether it's through the hands of their captain, who actually don't think he's on the field right now. And then I think as well, Matty Harris, KCK, their standouts, they have to lift. They have to pick their team up, otherwise they won't win this game. That's for sure.
Yeah, and for anyone who tunes into the Captain's Corner podcast, there was a good point raised about the backline of the Wedgetails and the fact that they've got no marquee players out there. So that one is a bit of a challenge when you talk about needing someone to spark, some sort of, moment, to get the momentum back in your favour. At least at the fullback position, you'd have to say. But we'll have to wait and see. What can they do here, Sydney? On the return, it's on the Cobbo. And Michael Lausey there in the back pocket. Really try and get hands on the ball. They'll go to Letu Funga. He's playing on the left centre. And now the Wedgetails. They'd hate to lose back-to-back road games here. That would take them to 1-2. They're hoping to keep their chances of a win alive, but time's ticking down. They're trying to look for something as Jim Bourbon through the middle, one of their marquees. And he's also had a career here in Townsville. Jim Bourbon, as we see Madison through the right edge. That's an offload and a dummy from Aaron White. And this could be the one to spark something for the visitors. Fifth and last now. Where will they go? What's the game plan? It's Bourbon with a crossfield kick straight towards the corner. And waiting for it is the big unit, Ken Halliard.
Yeah, and the Marlins just getting it through there. Main play is just the Wedgetails just not doing enough at the minute. It seems like we say the same thing every set. The Wedgetails need to lift, but they need to lift. I've said it again, but
yeah, it's just been looking pretty vanilla on their attack. There's not much going on, and I'm sure I don't need to tell them that, but it's just looking like they're running out of questions to ask the Marlins. And off the back of this ad-lib play, could be dangerous. Offload away to Mark Henry. And the Marlins bringing that firepower once again through the middle. Fifth and last, they'll drop it short side to Lucas Deuce. Crossfield punt all the way to on the Cobbo. And he'll be wrapped up once again, and he's been targeted all night. But he'll do his job as they'll offload it to Daniel Punch. Back out wide to Kern on the Cobbo. And he's just been getting stuck in it. He wants the ball. He wants the footy, but the back line, they've been struggling to make a line break. Jim Bourbon gets whacked and turned on his face. And that's the one he's going to remember from tonight's game. A big hit there, a couple Panadols, and he'll be right as we see 4 tackle halfway now. The Wedgetails, they've been struggling to make meters, but could they get it? Jim Bourbon, he wants his redemption. He wants his get back. Offload away to Ethan Pengelly. And on opposition 30 they are. So Jim Bourbon, he's playing like he's had a few shots of it in the second, as we see. Aaron White, crossfield kick. That's a good one. Straight to Hallier once again. And just, the Wedgetails, they need to knuckle down near Tyrone. Just get the defense, make the tackles and hold them deep. That's not a good start to it.
Yeah, Jim Bourbon not having the greatest few minutes here. Got sat on his backside and then got sat on his backside again. Just might need some Panadol, as you said, but at this rate, the pharmacy will run out of Panadol. So probably have to tough it out, the big guy. I know he can.
I hear he likes the gummies. He's a fan of the medicinal. As we see, Lausey, that's a good return on the left wing. He's trying to make the magic happen for his side. and the Samoan flyer from Melbourne playing for Sydney in at the fullback spot for this second half. Second tackle now, the Wedgetails shifted to Matty Harris. Oh, Matty Harris, big palm off. He's been getting stuck into it tonight, Matty Harris, and that's something you've come to expect from this Wedgetails side. He certainly wants to stand up as KCK. He's trying to get it going. The two linking up. Years of experience and chemistry on display. Makuleasi steps one, can't get past the second, fifth and last now. We're about to tick over the fourth base in this game. Oh, and it's a spill there. A grubber attempt, and will they call it back? Yeah, it's a knock on, so no advantage, and there's another head scratcher finish there for the Wedgetails time.
Yeah, I think that's just been their night, though. Not everything's gone their way, and when you thought they had the prime opportunity to put the pressure on, and just haven't been able to do it.
And that's a good line break there from Gallagher to Lockie Martin. And the Marlins now, great set so far. They're already up towards the halfway. Lucas Dew's taking the third tackle, as we'll see Martin once again. They're going to rely on him to try and see them out through the trench battle, get them through this game. The Marlins in search of their first win of the VPRL season, and another casualty of the battle tonight. It looks like Dino far silly to allow him. Now he's got a bit of a hobble in his step, so he's still amongst it, but you'd expect him to come off now. They're signaling him off for the HIA, so that's not good, Tyrone. That's another injury for tonight, but that's one for the Wedgetails at a time where they need to be at full strength.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Just seemed to do his ankle, do his leg a little bit, but now we get to see one of the best players in the league, VPRL Super Sub 1. Out into the second row. It's going to be...
He was one of the marquee signings from the other league. Him and the other three Super Sub brothers, as we see Kalea Burden now, the captain, back on the field. And, well, that's one positive for them. Dino Farsity to allow him off for this one, but Burden back on the field. And that's a mistake from Matty Harris. His teammates getting in the way once again. And it's kind of been the story of the evening for these two sides. There's a lot of missed kicks and botch kicks, and yeah, I know that by experience. What that feels like, what that looks like, all of that. As we see Blakes and Harrison, the big unit, they don't want to touch him. The big unit gets through on the right edge. Third tackle now. The Marlins could put the game to bed right here if they score off this set. Super Sub 1. No. He'll take a run. No. The crowd favourite. He should be 90 overall, as we see. Wilson shifting it to Caleb J. Big palm off. He'll run it straight at Matty Harris. Wrapped around the legs by two defenders. Fifth and last now. The Marlins back in the pocket. Eddie Oliver. Can he do it all? He'll get the grubber in. And that's perfectly placed. Well weighted. They're going to keep him trapped in goal, you'd have to think. And geez, it just goes from bad to worse for the Wedgetails. Tyrone. This could be the dagger.
It could be, but everyone's looking forward to our favourite player. VPRL Super Sub 1. Oh! I've seen his fend before, actually. He put on a fend for one of the Wedgetail props.
Oh! And that's not good. Ollie Turner. Oh, jeez. Straight to the knees it went. Now the Wedgetails, they've got a lifeline here. They've got some glimmer of hope left in this game. 15 minutes left. You're down by 2 tries. You need to convert them both, and you have to be the next team to score. Otherwise, the Wedgetails, they could very well lose back-to-back games here, heading into the midway point of this season. 4 rounds left after this one. Don't forget to stick around. 7 p.m. Monday night primetime. What a game that's going to be. The Thunder taking on the Bulls, a New South Wales divisional game. So stick around, because we've got 2 great, legendary commentators coming up for you in Jordan Lewis and, of course, the great Logan Strange as well.
Oh!
So that is going to be a banger to watch. 5th and last now, the Wedgetails. They're running out of time. They're running out of questions to ask. Mahana Olu on the wing could be the one to break their hearts. He'll weave them inside out. Gets past Michael Leaki, and the home crowd is roaring to life as the Marlins are going to book their first win on the season. Tyrone, you'd have to say it's all but a gimme now for the home team.
Yeah, just sensational play there from Mahana Olu, switching from fullback to the wing. It's done wonders, and you have to say that's the cherry on top, the cake. The Marlins, they're going to win their first game this year.
Yeah, speaking of popping cherries, right there it was. Towards the wing there from Hana Olu and those line breaks, those kick returns. There's something special when you can get past that last line of defense and it's just open passes. So 24-6 is the score for the Marlins. They are, you'd have to say without a doubt now, gonna be walking away victorious here. But Tyrone, if you're the Wedgetails, what questions need to be asked, because they're coming into the halfway point with 2 back-to-back losses now, and they've only scored 1 try tonight. They scored 0 last week and only 12 in round 1. So you'd have to think attack needs to be definitely needs to be improved.
Yeah, and I think, as we alluded to before, their back 5, no marquee in their back 5. I think that's what's making the difference right now. They just don't have any star power out the back. They put it all in the halves in the middle, and you're not going to win very many games by just playing up the middle with your forwards and your halves.
Yeah, and it's just put on a lot of pressure for that back line, you know, with no real go-to man in that, you know, in that department. It just makes you wonder who's going to be the one to step up now. We've seen Michael Laasi. He's played second half stints for that fullback role at the Wedgetails, but you know, you've got to wonder, is 40 minutes enough to see what he's truly capable of? Because when I look at this back line, if we're going off inexperience, then I'd lean towards a fitness back for a fullback spot. So maybe something to think about for Claire Burton and his leadership group. Letu Funga, he's certainly been one of the standouts for them tonight as well. The vice captain, he's wearing the captain's armband for tonight, as he did last week, due to Claire Burton coming off the bench. But for the Marlins, certainly a smile on Jack Carl's face now. That's the first W on the board for them. They just need to run out this final 10 minutes to make it official and lock it in. And the punch, oh, straight into the big shoulder.
It's the super
sub. And he's just gotten 3 MVP points for that one. That hit alone. Ken Howyer now off the return. And just no let up. But yeah, the Marlins, they've looked impressive here tonight, Tyrone.
They have, and it's definitely all down to the super sub. Super sub's impact. He's having one of the best games I've ever seen for a super sub. Is Eddie Oliver yet again? Oh, there he is again. The
super sub, he wants all the smoke. He's just calling for the ball. They're all listening to him now. And, geez, yeah, what a game from the Northern Marlins. They're probably thinking this is, you know, what we should have been putting up, but better late than never. This one will get them their first win. Still takes them to 1-2, but you'd rather the W than the L as we look ahead to round 4 next week. It will be the Marlins taking on the Western Sydney Bulls, one of the form teams of the comp, in Parramatta next week. Abe Walsh on the return. That looked dangerous. And for the Sydney Wedgetails, they'll go up against one of the other form teams of the comp, the Brisbane Pirates, but they will be back at home at Leichhardt. So it's going to be pressure time now for the Wedgetails, you'd have to think. Coming up against the Brisbane Pirates next week. I mean, that could be the make or break game of the season. We'll have to wait and see. But 4th tackle now. They're playing for pride at this point, the visitors. 6 minutes left. Can they try and get their first points of the second half? They've been held quiet, and just yet another set goes looming for them. As Aaron White, phenomenal kicking game tonight. As we see Mahana Olu off the return. And yeah, I mean, Tyrone, if you're the Wedgetails, I mean, yeah, is there any sort of advice you could give, or any sort of, I guess, feedback in terms of what they did well tonight and what they need to work on?
I think they definitely need to work on holding the ball for 5 tackles, 6 tackles, I think. That'll do you a lot of good, and also just the kicking game, not only for the Wedgetails, but I'm pointing specifically at the Wedgetails, just their kicking game's been a bit lacking, I'd say, just not where you want it to be. So I'd say those are the 2 things that you'd have to look at if you're the Wedgetails.
Yeah, I'm questioning whether swapping the halves combo was the right decision now. I mean, But don't get me mistaken, I think Matty Harris was probably one of the standouts, Aaron White as well, but I feel like they gelled a bit better when Aaron White was playing 6 and Harris was at 7. My opinion anyways, but third tackle as we see the Wedgetails. They're trying to get something going. KCK has been trying his heart out all night, but this Marlins defense has just staunched up and really made life tough for the away side. 3 minutes remaining in the second half. And the Townsville faithful are just loving everything at the moment. KCK, good heads up awareness. Matty Harris linking up, and just nothing doing there.
I mean, they honestly did well from what happened. Poor kick, but the recovery effort was pretty good. Nearly could have been offside, but referee wasn't looking. I don't think. I think he turned the blind eye on that one. They do turn it over, but looking better than what it was.
Yeah, I think for the Wedgetails, if you're a Wedgetails supporter, it's been frustrating to see the sort of missed kicks and the botch kicks, with teammates getting in the way, and you can put that down to fatigue, I guess. Just running on fumes, this Wedgetails side, they haven't had much time to breathe and not many points to show for it. Claire Burton, the skipper, the only try scorer of the evening for them. And for the Marlins, this is going to be good for them. Oh, it gets better, 6 again, and that's just a little salt in the wound now for Sydney. But they are going to step up in a big way next week, you would have to think, to try and get their season back on track. And of course, a win next week, that'll get them back to 500 at 2-2. The Marlins will be looking for a W as well. They don't want this to be the first and only. They want to try and win from here on out. Eddie Oliver now could argue best player for tonight, best on ground, as we see Howyer. He'll try and slip past. Final minute of the second half, 24-6. The Marlins will walk away with the victory, as Harrison now takes a hit up inside the 10. They'll go 5th and last, 30 seconds left. Caleb J, a bomb to the wing. Who's going to be under it? It's Cruz Spencer, wrapped up there, and they'll just put that one in the bank, Tyrone. The Marlins going to walk away with their first win of the season.
Yeah, and it's also been the performance that they've been looking for, the Marlins. Quite unlucky in the first game against the Pirates. They had the game and then they threw it away, but this has been a very, very mature performance here from the Marlins, and fully deserved the 2 points.
And could they be the smoky side to watch out for in the back half of this season? We'll have to wait and see, but they'll enjoy the spoils tonight. Victory in their favour. The Marlins finally get the first win of their season, and could it be the first of many more to come? The Wedgetails back-to-back losses now, so both teams 1-2 after round 3. 24-6 your full-time score. You can take a look at the playVPRL.com full-time stats. 4 tries to 1. Possession 68% for the Marlins, 32 for the Wedgetails, and 25 of 33 completions compared to 20 of 28 for the visitors. 8 errors for both sides, no penalties conceded, and 162 tackles for the home side, 180 for Sydney, and 48 missed tackles to 65, and both teams above 20 line breaks apiece. 1,000 meters gained for the Marlins attack compared to just under 800 for the Wedgetails. As we'll take a look at the player stats, and Tyrone, let's start with the home side.
Oh, and yes we shall, Keith. Only playing the 30 minutes, obviously got injured. 100 meters, Eddie Oliver the standout, 264 meters, 28 tackles, 6 tackle breaks, 5 line breaks. The double, along with 4 errors. Mahano Olu, 301 meters. Obviously switching from the fullback to the wing. What a performance. And scored that long range drive. Sonny, who else would you think has had a good game?
Yeah, Eddie Oliver, the halves combo. And yeah, you know, I think those were the 3 standouts, really. I mean,
the super sub.
Oh, of course. How could I forget? Super sub 1. 22 minutes, over 50 run meters, 5 tackles, 2 tackle breaks, 1 line break, and of course, infinite aura. I mean, what a performance from Super Sub 1. We'll score across now to the visitors. And for the Wedgetails, not too much to harp on about, but KCK, 141 run meters, 17 tackles, and 4 tackle breaks and line breaks as well. to go with that. You got Dino Farsilli to allow him with a try assist to his name. He made a bit of an impact, although, geez, 18 tackles, 15 missed tackles. That's tough. Oh, geez. I'd hate to throw him under the bus, but that might be a record, and not the sort of record you want to hold. But a try assist there, you've got to point out that one try assist. And, geez, I feel popular tonight. Friends popping as we see. Aaron White, on the ball, he was superb. With the kicking game, I should say, although kick meters doesn't really reflect that. I thought it would have been more than that. 163 from 6 kicks. Another standout was Letu Funga, playing fullback in the first half, wing in the second, 10 tackles made. And yeah, Tyrone, any standouts for you in this Wedgetails side?
Not too many. I thought Court on the Combo did really well out the wing, 130 metres. Matty Harris, yet again, 170 metres, 360 kicking metres. Although I'd prefer him in the 7, as you said. Technically they got their only win of the season with Matty Harris at 7, so I think they need to learn off that side.
Yeah, I feel like White was the one that had 300 kick meters, and Harris would have had the 163. And that's no shade at all. It's just, that's what it felt like. But questions to be asked now for Claire Burton and his Wedgetails. Are they going to stick to the game plan, or are they going to try something new, something different as we hit the midway point of the season? But the Marlins, congratulations to Jack Kyle and his men, 24-6 victors. And don't forget to stay tuned in, because 7 o'clock tonight, it will be the primetime game. The Bulls and the Thunder. The Thunder are taking on the Bulls in Newcastle. You don't want to miss it. I've been Sonny Tyre in the box alongside my good mate Tyrone Clay. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed your VPRL coverage, and stick around because we'll be back for more action right here on VPRL Virtual Pro Rugby League.